Well, you're clearly not the locals or traveling peddlers, which makes you all...
Here's my paperwork.
Oh, wards of the House of Vortems. How very interesting. Count Edmund has granted us leave to remain in Ishgard for as long as we wish, which may be some time. Accordingly, we will have need of sundry goods, hence our desire to make your acquaintance. That is, of course, assuming you are content to accept the custom of foreigners. Should you be uncomfortable, young sir, we do not discriminate in matters of money. If you have the coin to spend, who are we to refuse it? Weapons, armor, accoutrement, medicine, materials, whatever your desire, it can be found in the Crozier. Our merchants will be more than happy to accommodate you, as you shall soon see. Our next destination is the Aetherite Plaza in Foundation. If everyone is ready and can avoid some tangents.
I can promise nothing, manservant.
And here we have Foundation's Aetherite Plaza. If you have yet to attune to the Aetherite, it would be wise to do so now. If you have attuned to the Aetherite, then let us move on. I'm eager to see more of the city.
I think so. It's a fair point. Yeah, we're good. I don't know that I have Skysteel Manufactory. So. I threw out my helmet. Yeah, I mean, I could get it back from Calamity Salvager, but I'm pretty sure I just threw it away. Once it didn't display, I'm pretty sure I just threw it out. I was upset. The fact that the AF set doesn't... Like, I'm not a super big glamour guy. I cannot imagine how wildly infuriating it is for somebody to pick this. Especially newer players who just... They made the sole mistake of playing a race they thought looked cool without any awareness. And even if, like, the character creation popped up a disclaimer, like, some may not be applicable. You're like, oh, okay, so maybe there's some weird ones. No, it's most. There is a huge chunk of iconic, necessary... There are times that the MSQ says, put this helmet on as a disguise, and it doesn't display.
As for our next destination, mayhap we should decide together. What else can be found nearby? Well, the Skysteel Manufactory stands to the west. There our engineers conceive of the manufacture weapons for use against dragons. The holy stables, where chocobos are trained for war, also lie in that direction.
Cool.
To the north and east can be found the congregation of our knights most heavenly, while to the south and east, well, 'twould be best if you avoided that area. And why is that? I fear our knights may not be able to ensure your safety in the lowest levels, Master Alphino. Hold your nose when you pass the broom, little lord. A delicate flower like you is like to wilt in our fumes. You misjudge me, sir, for I am no lord, but a humble traveller. Oh, come to see the sights, have you? Take a turn down the Hopland and gawp at the statues. Well, if you've a mind to learn how the better half live, come and have a drink at the Forgotten Knight if your nursemaid'll let you. My humblest apologies, Master Alphino. Pray pay that drunken lout no mind. Oh, but I must. It would not do to refuse such a heartfelt invitation. Yes, I must see this forgotten knight for myself. I trust you to see the wisdom in this media. There are few sources of information more abundant than a bustling local hostelry. Not that I expect to hear any news of our missing comrades just yet. Nevertheless, who can say what we might learn of recent events?
Okay.
Then I'm coming too!
Sure. This is a good idea.
Must say, this is rather unusual. Not just one, but a whole party of fresh new faces in my tavern.
Ah, but we recently arrived in Ishgard and are eager to acquaint ourselves with more notable establishments, Master...
Gilrelont. Gibberlon will do. Just Gibberlon. I'm flattered you think so highly of my establishment. Can't promise it'll live up to your expectations, but if it's decent food and drink you're after, you could do much worse.
Judging by the number of customers I see, I suspect your fare is rather more than decent. Speaking of your clientele, I could not help but notice a difference between those who frequent the upper and lower floors.
Spotted that, did you? Up here you'll find peddlers, porters, off-duty knights, and so forth, dropping in on their way to and from somewhere else. Regulars, maybe, but not locals. Folks from the Broom, they tend to congregate downstairs, where we offer a menu more suited to their taste. Cheaper meals, stronger spirits, all quality, mind, but not the sort of stuff I'd recommend to yourselves.
You speak of the lowest levels, yes. Why do they call them the Broom, if I may ask?
'Cause when the weather's foul and the broom rolls in thick, it's the poor sods living at the bottom who have to deal with it.
I see.
And it's not just the weather. When the wyverns broke through the wards and started tearing up the city, it was the Broom that got the worst of it, while the pillars enjoyed the protection of the high houses and the temple knights. More than a few are still sore about that, mind, which is why, considering your present company, I'd recommend you keep your wits about you if you mean to go below. And something sharp in your boot, just to be sure.
I shall take your words to heart, sir. Master Alphino, I think it would be best if we returned to Fortemps Manor. You go on without me. I'm staying for a drink or two. Miss Tartaru, I'm afraid that is out of the question. My lord the Count would never forgive me if I abandoned one of his charges in such a place. Least of all, a maiden. What are you up to, Tataru? Look around, Alphino. This tavern is full of people whose business regularly takes them beyond the gates of judgment. With friends like that, I could practically live here and wait for the newest gossip to come to me. Indeed, but will you be safe here on your own? Oh, please! Do you know how often I looked after the waking sands and the rising stones by myself? If I had a gill for every unwelcome caller I'd driven away, I'd be rich beyond my wildest dreams. I'll be fine.
Not that I doubt the lady's knack for fending off unwarranted advances, but I'll be damned if I'm going to let anyone lay an unwelcome hand on a patron in my establishment.
That settles it then. Tataru, Meteor and I shall return to the manor for now. Contact me by link pearl if you require assistance. I will.
I don't still know how to do Tataru's voice. I don't feel confident in it. I don't know. She doesn't talk that much, so it's not an issue. As long as you don't opt into her optional lines, you don't really hear from her much. At least you didn't in ARR. My first time through Heavensward, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright. Up to here. Can I go inside?
Welcome, Master Derplander. Shall I show you inside the manor?
Yes. Yes. Where's Alfie? Wasn't Alfie supposed to be here?
Tell us then, Master Alphino, does Ishgard meet with your expectations? That which I imagine pales in comparison to the reality. I felt the weight of 1,000 years of history with every step I took, and when those steps took me past the scars left by the wyverns in Foundation, I understood how easily that history could end in tragedy. The attack was devastating. The casualties unspeakable. The wyverns did not discriminate. Unarmed men and women, even children, were given no quarter. Yes, Sir Aymeric has ordered his knights to strengthen our defenses, and each house has been called upon to lend what support it can. There is much to be done, yet alas, able-bodied men and women are in short supply. Mayhap we could be of assistance, my lord. After all you've done for us, we would be welcome to any opportunity to repay your kindness.
Sure.
That is a most generous offer, Master Alphino. You are guests in my home, to whom I have extended my hospitality without obligation, let or lien. Nevertheless, Ishgard's need is great, and if you are willing to aid our cause, I cannot well refuse. Good. Then what would you ask of us? Well, from what I have heard, you are an intelligent and persuasive young man. Such qualities may prove most useful to us in our efforts to secure provisions from foreign sources, identifying trustworthy suppliers, brokering contracts, and so on. Now, as for you, Master Derplander, I could ask for no one better than a storied veteran as yourself. A man with the capacity to act swiftly and decisively when needed, to aid Artorial and Eminelaine in their duties. Excuse me. I beg your pardon? I am more than capable of carrying out my duties by myself. I've no need of our honored guest's assistance. Now, be reasonable, brother. What manner of fool would say no when a famous hero offered to do his work? Hold your tongues. By the Fury, the two of you will conduct yourselves with dignity befitting your station and show Master Derplander the respect he deserves. This is the man who slew Gaius Van Balsar, and some 6 primals besides. He is not here to steal your glory or serve as your errand boy. If you can pardon them from their impropriety, Master Derplander, I should be much obliged if you would lend my sons a helping hand.
Sure.
My thanks. Fury willing, they may even learn something from you.
You guys don't seem like fans.
"'Twould seem that we shall not want for employment over the coming days. though that was never in doubt. Our host's initial reluctance to accept our offer of aid was solely for appearance's sake. In truth, he was glad of this opportunity to put us to work. By granting us patronage, Master Fortemps has taken a tremendous risk. Until we demonstrate our worth to Ishgard at large, the Count will face considerable opposition from his peers in matters great and small. And so he would have us publicly serve Ishgard, whilst simultaneously keeping his sons in check. 'Tis an arrangement we may benefit from in unexpected ways. My own duties may feasibly bring me into contact with people who know something of our missing comrades. And as you go about helping our two lords with their various responsibilities, you will inevitably make new acquaintances in Ishgard, mayhaps even new allies. Yes, the more I think of it, the more confident I become in that by furthering their goals, we shall further our own.
I know I don't have good bard here. I know I don't have good bard here. Ah, 51. Oh, I have choices. I have choices.
Shall we be off then, old boy? Ah, but where are my manners? Emmeline de Fortemps, second son of Count Edmund de Fortemps. Trueborn, that is. Yes, I know what you're thinking, and you're absolutely right. What ill fortune to be born second in a society where the eldest inherits all. Oh, my brother would never cut me off, 'tis true, but who could be satisfied subsisting on a meager allowance, forever overshadowed by his sibling? Not I, old boy, not I. Which is why I need your help to ensure that this business in the Sea of Clouds goes swimmingly, so that the tales of my great deeds can win me a place in the people's heart, or better yet, raise me higher in their estimations than Artorial. Ambitious, I grant you, but then I too have a legendary hero to do my bidding. Oh, don't look at me that way. I jest. Anyway, we are to aid the good men and women of House Halinar. Now, they have ever been steadfast friends to our house, though they have fallen on hard times since the calamity, poor blighters. As for what precisely we will be doing, well, what would be the fun if I told you everything in advance? Just come along with me to the airship landing, and we'll need to take the airship to Camp Cloudtop.
Okay.